Hello, my name is Tomska. Welcome back to my podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by feminism. Don't be a dick.
Tomska's Turbo Punch Podcast.
Hey you, and welcome back to my Tomska podcast thingy, where I do the podcast. My name is Tomska. If you don't know who I am, I make YouTube videos. And today, joining me in the office is Crystal Smith over there. Hi, Crystal. She's working hard. It's not morning, Crystal. It's 2. And Elliot is over there. Elliot, don't hide again. You're just... If you're freakishly observant, you may have noticed that I have changed my microphone setup already because, yes, I thought I would upgrade it, being that I want to take this whole podcasting thing very seriously. I run 2 podcasts, the Tomska podcast, which you're watching right now, and the Turbo Pals podcast, which is me and a few friends hanging out, and I wanted to get a better microphone that could work really well for both of these things. So I have upgraded my setup, and it's going to be pretty baller, yo. So get ready for that. This week, we don't have a Turbo Pals podcast ready. Very sorry. MCM. Not my fault. It's not my fault. Everyone, calm down. Okay, maybe it's my fault. But now I want to talk about some of the projects that are coming up. So we have quite a lot of stuff in the pipeline right now because, like I mentioned, trying to do weekly videos. Don't know if I'm actually going to get a video up this Friday because even though we have a lot of things coming, I just don't really know what's right for the channel. I feel like after the Confession 2, I want to put out an animation, but the animation we're working on is... designed to promote Cat Attack, the game we're making, when that's released. But because it's still not out, I don't want to just put the video out and be like, hey, there's a game out, because that would be a lie. And just telling people it's coming soon is going to be just dreadfully ineffective because people will forget by the time it's out. So, But let's talk about those projects. So the animation I'm talking about is called Video Games Are Dumb, and it's me trying my hand at doing a video game parody thing. It's not really my territory, but I'm doing it anyway because, like I said, we're making a game, and I thought, what better way to announce the game than by being like, here's video games, they're stupid, right? They're being animated by Mr. Matt Lay, who has really surprised me by just creating fantastic, lovely, cutesy animation, and it looks great, and that'll be coming out maybe next week if the game's out, and I'll be playing it at MCM if you're there. But take a look now if you're not, and you just need to see it.
Bobby, do you want to go to the prom with me?
Psh, no way, Sarah. Sarah, no! Sarah, no! No, Sarah, no! No!
I choose you, Bobby. I choose you all.
Another project we have on the go, which is probably the most likely to come out this Friday, is called Epic Girlfriend Pranks, and it's a kind of big parody of just prank videos, specifically, boyfriend-girlfriend pranks, I guess prank versus prank. I was in one of their videos once. I don't know why. I don't even know where it is, but I just know that they were filming and I was there. So, but yes, it is this really just stupid kind of parody of prank videos, and it's supposed to be as obnoxious as humanly possible, and... I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit worried. It's a bit intense, and if the comments on the Confession about my weight were bad, this one is gonna be an absolute nightmare because I am wearing a lot of outfits that don't really fit, and I'm jumping around a lot, but I'm hoping people will like it. I think it has a lot of potential to be good. In filming this video, I basically busted up Alice's nose. Alice being the co-star. I just busted her nose. Hit her in the face really hard. You'll see it when you watch the video. Wasn't meant to. She just bled a lot. Sorry, Alice. Here's a preview, though. Another video on the way is Detective Tomska, which is a little animated video about me as a police officer, and it's just supposed to be very silly, very quick, kind of, in a kind of more old school style to my channel of just being very... this is all happening at once. And it's about me as a cop, and my partner is Tanya Bear. No relation. And it's going to be pretty good. It's currently only at the animatic stage, which basically means that we've done a very rough soundscape and hand that over to the animator, who is this quite new kid called Alex. I don't really know anything about him, but I'm about to sign off on the animatic, and hopefully that'll be coming out in the weeks or months to come. So here's a quick preview of that. It's only at animatic stage, as I said, but I think it's going to be kind of funny. So, yeah.
Detective Tomska, Tanya Bear, gonna go solve some crime, yeah! Detective Tomska, there's been a frickin' murder.
Time to crime.
One thing I wanted to talk about though before I move on to questions is money and stuff. I've always had in the comments of these videos things like, hey Tom, you should do a Patreon or a Kickstarter because I would support you and stuff. And the truth is I do actually have a Patreon, which is the service where basically you pledge to donate a certain amount each time someone uploads a bit of content. So, you know, you'd say like, oh, I will give you $1 every time you make a video. It's kind of like a tip jar thing, which is really cool. I was actually one of the first users of the site, but I decided to I kind of just like I didn't feel very comfortable with it at the time because I was such a big YouTuber. I was the biggest YouTuber on the site, and I just felt kind of a bit scummy. Like, oh, I was, you know, doing so well, and I was just taking money that could have been given to other creators. But now the site is so popularized, and the fact is, I'm not making as much money as I used to because I guess because I just didn't make content for so long, and I kind of screwed that up a bit. But yes, I do have a Patreon, and I will link to it in the down bit because it is just Tomska. And if you donate just $1 or more, then you get access to the behind-the-scenes bit where I post full edits of videos before they're out. I post, you know, scripts and just generally a little bit more insight that I wouldn't necessarily share in these podcasts. Just like truly, like here is the everythingness. I discuss things like specific budgets and. Just really, if you're really interested in that kind of stuff, or you're really curious, then just check it out. Maybe donate $1 per video and see some cool stuff. But yeah, that would be nice if you would. But you're under absolutely no obligation. I still do make a living off this. But the truth is, a lot of the videos I do make do not turn a profit anymore. Really, only the animations turn a profit. So the live action stuff either breaks even or just does pretty okay. But yeah, let's move on to some questions. It's question time. So I asked for your questions on Twitter, and you sent in more than I was expecting, and I picked more than I was supposed to, so maybe this will go on a little bit longer than expected, but hey, let's do it anyway. Mr. Picklet asks, are you a spoon? Yeah, off to a good start. Sean asks, will you ever come to Australia? Yes, I would love to come to Australia. I actually have family in Australia, the only other Ridgewells in my generation, and I would like to visit them one day. Ideally, what I want is I want a company to be like, hey Tom, we're a flying people touristy company. If you mention our company, we will fly you to Australia for free. So, call me, please. Powell me, whatever. I can't pronounce this person's name. Paul? I don't know, asks, podcast question, why 4x3? So yes, these podcasts are shot in a little tiny box like this because I'm using the photo booth app on my Mac and running the sound into GarageBand because I don't want to just use a really expensive camera because then I can't be bothered basically. I'm just doing the easiest setup. It's not actually that easy because I still have to sync the sound up. But right now, I'm just being lazy. That's really the reason, is because I'm just doing a lazy setup because I am lazy. Shut up. Henrik asks, any big plans for the future you'd like to share besides world domination? Well, the world domination thing is pretty commonly known, but big plans, really, it's just that I want to start making... burping. I want to start burping. No, I want to start making short films. I want to start doing actually cool, action-y things, and... when it comes to that, I'm not really sure how I want to go about it. Maybe I want to start doing Kickstarters for individual short films. I think if I want to do short films, I've said short films a lot in the sentence. The first one I would like to do off my own back, you know, pay for it myself, and then kind of have that as a calling card and say, look, this is the kind of stuff that we can do. I would now really like it. I need you guys to get involved in the funding process because I just can't afford to make these all of the time. So yes, short films, action, comedy, romance. No, maybe not romance. Well, maybe some romance. Batman Jesus, sure, asks, any advice for building an audience? Is it possible organically these days, or is it just a horrendous amount of self-promotion? I kind of touched on this briefly in my video, How to YouTube. Building an audience for me, I think, is a lot about collaboration and just kind of embracing the community, whatever that may be, in whatever sector of YouTube you're trying to break out into, because I think that it's near enough impossible these days to kind of make it on your own. There's very few channels, I think, that don't have, friends that that can succeed. I think you need to be, collaborating and working with people similar to you, and just attending events, going to things like Summer in the City or conventions, and genuinely just making friends and just being a part of the world and the community and stuff. And like I said in How to YouTube, just creatively flirting with other people. If you've got skills, then just make videos that give little nods or references to the YouTubers you want to notice you, because maybe they will. And it sounds really kind of gross, I know, but it's the best advice I have right now. I'm so sorry, Batman Jesus. Dan Pugsley asks, how do you get your sounds sounding so soundy? Well, Dan, I hire you. I give you money, and you do it. So, shut up, Dan. Ruby asks, what would you say to somebody trying to film a sketch but with a low budget? I'm guessing I shouldn't steal props. Winky face. Well, again, I kind of touch on this in How to YouTube as well, in that I recommend that you just look at what you have available to you, because, when you don't have much at hand, you should write sketches based on what you do have. At least I think so. So, like, you've got, if you live in a house, you've already got a kitchen, a bedroom, a dining room, probably a garden, so you could write sketches related to those locations. You probably have a job, or someone has a job, so maybe you could use their place of work as a location. There are loads of props lying around, probably work related. Like, say for me, my dad works in landscape gardening and is currently doing up my garden right now. Thanks, Dad. But I could use, if I ever needed loads of garden machinery for a video, I would have access to that. So it's that kind of like logic of just kind of thinking about what you have access to right now and doing that until you get a budget. Because, when I do get a budget, that's what I use as an opportunity to dream bigger and to use bigger and better locations. And one of the first things I ask when a company comes to me offering me a budget is basically, what can you give me? And I don't just mean like money-wise, I mean like, hey, you're a big company, can I shoot in your offices? Or do you have access to a set or something? So yeah, just what you have available to you is very helpful. Kalina, I think, asks, what is the difference between films and movies for you? So yes, I touched on this in my last podcast, and also in the movie deal I did with YouTuber Neefsy, which I will link to in the down. It is a 30-minute video where we talk about my favorite films. But the difference between movies and films for me is, and this is a completely made up definition, but I think of films as kind of more meaty, substancy, things, things kind of like, art house films, or just kind of like bigger things to process, and movies as just kind of, the junk food of the movie. Well, you just pop it in, you can enjoy, you watch it over and over again. Personally, I prefer movies. Those are the things that I want to make. I want to make movies, just fun stuff that you watch over and over again. And there are great people out there who I reckon are filmmakers, YouTubers like Bertie Bert G, like he's going to be a filmmaker, and that's great, but that's not what I want to do. I want to make movies. I want to make your Michael Bay big action movies, maybe not as Michael Bay as Michael Bay, don't want to, no racist robots, but just big fun things. So yeah, films, I really can't think of anything off the top of my head. Diving Bell and the Butterfly, that's a film, right? I don't know what I'm saying. Movies, though, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, 17 again. Those just, I don't know, I just want to make movies. Ula asks, if you had to live in a film universe, which one would you least like to live in, and why? I would have to say I would least like to live in the universe of porn films. I think it would be incredibly stressful and demanding. Just ordering a pizza would be so much work. It'd be like, no, just the pizza. Oh, you've got your dick on the pizza? Oh, like you'd be afraid of ordering any food that had meat in it, because they'd be like, extra sausage? No, your dick is in my soup. Stop. Stressful. Don't want to live there. Dan asks, how was presenting Radio 1 for you? Want to do more radio stuff? I would love to do more radio stuff. I would actually like to do radio stuff where I'm not also being, like, webcammed live, because that was really distracting. I think that I like doing radio stuff. I'd like to just play with just the audio medium, because, that's what I was kind of hoping to do with Radio 1, but then they were like, no, you have to do it all in one take because we're streaming you, whereas I would just be, I was basically having to focus on two performances, a physical performance and a vocal performance, and I would like to just focus on one. But I would love to do more radio, because I would love to play more songs and be like, this is the music that I really like, because music is a huge part for me. My YouTube username is based off my favorite genre of music, ska. So I would love to just play music and just talk and banter and getting guest hosts and just have a lot of fun. And yeah, I would like to do more radio stuff, but maybe not webcammed radio stuff. But they probably wouldn't have me any other way. Jackson asks, "Hey Tom, happy face. Any tips for a new comedy sketch writer / actor? Love your videos." Genuinely, there's pretty much no advice I can give you that I haven't really covered in my How to YouTube video, which links you should check out, because really, you know, the biggest tips are just, you know, embrace the fact that you're going to be shitty for a while and just keep doing it and keep persevering, and use the things available to you at the time. That my voice is cracked, so I believe in you, Jackson. One Shop naturally asks, "How many guys have you kissed as part of your filmmaking, and which YouTuber would you not mind kissing if you haven't already?" Fantastic. Well, I have kissed a couple guys in my life, for various reasons, all of them because I was drunk, and one, if I kissed him, I got to kiss women, and two, it was gay chicken, and we either both won or both lost. I really can't tell. But how many guys have I kissed on screen? None. And who would I kiss if I haven't already? Oh, I'd probably kiss Crabsticks. I did write a video where I kissed him, and we haven't done it yet. So maybe we still will. Maybe. Who knows? Probably not. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name. Why don't you take 1 or 2 months off YouTube to make a movie or a short movie? It would be nice to watch you longer, creep. Basically, I kind of want to do that, but I don't want to do that until I have the content lined up to keep my channel alive. So, you know, what I want to do is I want to get about, you know, 4 or 5 videos shot and ready, and then just me and the team just focus entirely on a short film and just be doing that for a good couple weeks, so that we're not also worrying about the channel and the channel not being filled up with yummy content. So that's the plan. The plan is that we're trying to create a backlog right now. I'm trying to write maybe 4 videos that are quite simple to shoot, but hopefully people will find really funny, so that we have those in the bag, and then we can focus on making a short movie, because I want to be making one by the end of the year. That's my goal. So here's hoping. Sam asks, "At all of these conventions you go to, how long can I fan talk to you before you have to move on to the next guy / girl?" Usually, I guess it's about 30 seconds, but sometimes it can go up to a minute, because the way I do it is I don't rush through people, but the downside is there is a long queue, basically. Like, I will try and give you as much time as is fair to everyone else, but you will have to wait in a long queue. Sometimes the queue is up to an hour long, and that does suck, and it doesn't seem like a good payoff for 30 seconds, but it's that, or you have or the queue is 20 minutes long, and I literally just hug you and take a photo, and then you go away, and that doesn't sound like fun to me. That doesn't sound rewarding for anyone involved. So, you know, I like that people do typically respect the whole process, and I think most people, by the time they get to the front, they kind of appreciate the situation. Sometimes people do go over a bit, but to be honest, if they've waited, I'm gonna let them go on for a bit. But if I get to the point where I'm like, well, I won't keep you anymore, just, you gotta go, because look at all the people behind you. Look at them, they're so sad, and their feet are tired. Stuart asks, "How much scar could a Tomska scar if a Tomska could scar, Tom?" Well, I basically have scarred as much as humanly possible. I have what I call the Scarchive, which is near enough every ska band and every ska song ever. I think it is something in the realm of about 10,000 songs. So if there is ska, I have scarred it. That is the answer. Jamie asks, "Have you ever thought about opening a gaming channel? If not, why not?" I have thought about opening a gaming channel, but the fact is I'm just not very funny, I think. I mean, I like scripting things and stuff, but when it actually comes to doing a gaming channel, just when I know that when I'm playing a game, I'm not creative. I just kind of shut down, I blank, and the best you're gonna get out of me is me being angry. I play games to kind of stop thinking. It's up there with drinking beer for me. It's just a complete pacifier. So I don't think a gaming channel would be interesting from me. Maybe though, but everyone's got a gaming channel. It just feels so kind of overdone now, but well, if you can't beat them, maybe I'll join them one day, but for now, nah. I do have all the stuff necessary to do it though. So if I do a gaming channel, it might be a bit like this podcast or the Turbo Pals podcast, in that I will do it kind of in a way where I don't really mind if no one's watching it. I will do it just for the love of doing it. Because I won't try and make it as a big money-making ploy, because I don't know, I just personally, that wouldn't sit right with me. I don't know. I have really mixed feelings about gaming channels, but I also don't want to shit all over anyone else, because, you know, people are all just cool dudes, and I don't know. Me and gaming channels, I just don't know if that would work. That answer took a long time. John asks, you have unlimited money and resources and a generous time frame to make one dream project. What do you make? So let me just bring up my project bank, which I didn't have pre-prepared. And I got my list of feature films that I want to make. And some of them are pretty crazy. One of them is called Finale, and it's just this film I came up with when I was, I think, 16 or 17, and it's just kind of one of the biggest projects I've ever wanted to do. But I think in terms of short films, I would want to do... I want to do like a web series or a movie. Currently the working title is Project Timecode, which genuinely has nothing to do with it. It's just a joke name that we came up with this, so it's purely a secretive working title, but it is this big, awesome action series that is just crazy, and it's all about a young woman with telekinesis, basically, and it would be totally wicked, and I would love to make that, but I would probably need about 150 to 200,000 pounds to do it. So if I was gonna do that, I would either need some big investor to help me out, or a lot of little investors through the form of Kickstarter, and maybe I would do that. I don't know, but yes. Reese asks, I do guitar covers and I'm looking for some smooth lighting. Any suggestions for cheap-ish lights and softboxes? Elliot, this is where you can help us out. Cheap-ish lights and softboxes. Smooth lighting? What does that even mean? Chuck me one of your light boxes. They're right next to you. So what Elliot has is there's some small LED things. Names on the top. So these are, I don't know what this is. This is a CN126. It's like a little LED panels. These you can just stick a couple around you and they're gonna light you nicely. Maybe put one behind you so you get 3-point lighting. Yeah, you can get these pretty cheap. So these are something that we use to just like set up little basic vlogs here and there. There are also much bigger versions, but shop around, man. Good luck to you. I'm gonna throw this back to Elliot. I broke it. I broke Elliot. He's broken. Jaspy or Jaspy asks, you follow Rob Scallon and he helped on a video of yours. Do you recommend anything new he's done, maybe for other web people? Yes, so Rob Scallon is an awesome guitarist, man, and I've worked with him on a few projects now. Embarrassingly, a few of them haven't come out yet because slow times. But you know, he's this really cool guitarist, and he just kind of like dropped on our radar back in like 2009, I think. Just sent over some of his music, and I'm really happy for him lately because he's just kind of got really big doing his like metal covers of other songs and also banjo covers, and just crazy. Like, he's really talented and he's awesome, and you should check him out. Do that. Check him out. Check out Rob Scallon. You haven't checked out Rob Scallon yet. What is wrong with you? Jacob asks, what microphone would you recommend for people starting vlogging on a budget? Good sound, like I said, is very, very important, and you can pretty much get any microphone if you just look it up. You know, little basic Rode microphones. I think Samsung do quite basic microphones that you just maybe set up like this below the camera, but you can get microphones that go on top of the camera if you're using a digital SLR, which just plug in on a lot of models into this 8mm jack. So if you just make sure the camera has that function to take an external microphone. This is a little Rode shotgun mic. This works pretty well. Here are some more specs about it. I use this. Sometimes they just go on top of the camera and then just, hello, you can hear me. Oh, I have a robot penis nose. Dorian asks, how likely is it that all of your sketches and cartoons take place in the same cinematic universe, one with very lapsed gun laws? It's not likely that they all happen in the same universe, because I do have a kind of cinematic universe, and it is called the Turboverse. And it is the universe in which a lot of things exist, projects that haven't come out yet, but the only one that is canon so far is Eddsworld, or at least the Eddsworld that I have been writing with Eddie. The Turboverse crosses over a lot of narratives that I want to make. It's Project Timecode, it's Eddsworld, it's Crash Zoom, it's Super Average, it's Zach, which these are all projects that like I haven't made yet, but they are huge narratives and they are all intertwined, and it's kind of my equivalent of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I just really hope that one day I can tell that and people will be like, oh shit, it's cool. Basically, I'm doing it all for like the 3 people that would run a wikia for it and just be really obsessed over the small details. I kind of wanted to do this after I started really looking into the Eddsworld wikia, where like these people that run it will just notice every little thing you throw in the background, and they appreciated it, and I was like, that's awesome. I want to make things for you person who notices every you're watching this right now. I don't know who you are, there's a few of you, but you know, I will put a little clip from Eddsworld or make a little hint, and it will turn up on that blog within a day, and that's awesome. I want to make stuff for you because you appreciate it and you give a shit about little tiny interlocking details like that. So good job. Another name I'm not even going to try and pronounce asks, what do you usually refer to know if a video has been appreciated? Comments, likes, views? It's actually kind of all of them. I haven't been reading the comments on the Confession 2 because I know, and I mentioned it in my last podcast, that they're all just about my weight, and I don't need that shit. But yeah, the comments, the number of comments, the likes and view ratio is pretty good at telling like how much people have interacted in the video. But I can also look at the analytics behind the scenes and tell like audience retention, which is like I can tell exactly like how like average percentages of like how many people watch the whole video, at what point they started dropping off, what their favorite bits. I can check the comments to see like the most commonly said things, so I can tell like what people's favorite part of the video is. I can look into which country liked it down to which city liked it the most. I discovered that the Confession has been watched by one person in Nigeria, and they loved it because they watched it twice. Or they were just really confused. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot I can do to look into how much a video is liked. The views are very interesting. They tell how like the video is being shared as well. Like, are people spreading the video around? Different videos work better on different websites. I know that Horse did it really well on Facebook because some fabulous person re-uploaded it, not linked to my YouTube video, just re-uploaded it, and that's had millions of views, so good. But yes, there's a lot of ways I can look into how a video has done. Michael asks, how much does an average shoot cost you? And just want to say, you're pretty cool and a big inspiration. Thank you, Michael. An average shoot, I'd say, costs at least £1,000. Because, you know, you've got to pay the camera dude who, you know, if you want to get a good camera person, you're looking at somewhere between £250 to £1,000 a day if you want someone who's really hella good. Sound design is going to cost an extra couple hundred to make it sound absolutely great. Music as well. Like, to get all these things that actually make it really, really good, you just have to pay people, and you need people on set organizing it. You need someone, you know, and at the start of things, people are going to want to work and just like do it for fun and do it for free. But kind of when you get to a level, especially when you get to a level where you're making money, you just can't ask other people to do it for free. You just kind of have, like, you just have to pay them. Like, otherwise you're a bit scummy, really. So yeah, that's it, really. You can do it for free, but if you want it good, and if you want to have it to a level where you're making money off it, then you're probably going to have to fork out as well. So I'd say for a relatively simple video, I could probably shoot a very simple video for about £500. You know, a video like Meanwhile, that would probably cost about £500, you know, to hire a camera for the day and get all the necessary props and then get the edit and everything done. But yeah, a more complicated shoot, about £1,000. So yes. Jacob asks, you mentioned people being extras in an upcoming video. Did I miss it, or are you yet to post it? Basically, I wanted people for a wedding scene, but I cut that scene because it was just too expensive. It was going to cost me about an extra £500 just to shoot this wedding scene. We're gonna have to rent a tux, buy a wedding dress, pay for the location, pay for travel to that location. So it was about £500 for sort of one scene, which I didn't need, and I cut it. Finally, Krasko asks, you say you need to spend masses on sketches that don't make much back, but my question is why? Comedy can be done for free. I feel like I've done this question in the wrong order, but yes, like I said, comedy can be done for free, but if you want it good and to a level where you're making money back off it, then you're probably going to have to fork out at least somewhat to do it. And these days, YouTube is very hostile to sketch comedy. It's not something that you can do weekly, really. So it's something you have to invest money in, and you can't basically release 3 good sketches a week which is what the YouTube algorithm would want. So it's now currently a money-losing job, but I'm hoping that I can keep it topped up with the animations and just still survive. But yes, it's difficult. So that all went on longer than expected, but thank you so much for listening in and asking the questions and just paying attention to me. I don't really know why you do this to yourself. It's questionable. But I want to thank you very much for being the kind of person that watches this podcast and the kind of person that tweets at me and tweets out my videos, because it is because of you that I can survive. And, you know, the very small select people, and I say the very, like, obviously there's a few thousand, but relative to the theoretical 3 million subscribers I'm supposed to have, you are the ones that keep me afloat and make my job a reality. So thank you so much for doing that. Do check out the Patreon if you're curious, but no worries if you don't want to donate. I'm going to try and put as much behind the scenes information in this podcast anyway, but the real hearty, meaty stuff is going to be back there. And yeah, hopefully see you next week. Hope we had a good time, and I will see a lot of you at MCM. But if you're not at MCM, I will see you around the world. New York, Florida, California. I'll come to you. Maybe Australia. Probably not Japan. That sounds very stressful. Tomska, out. Whoa.